So here's a bit of a budget breakdown of costs of different activities and things to do while in Madeira. I was there for 10 days and I did think it was a little bit more expensive than some other European destinations, but let's take a look at some of the things that I did while I was there. So I did 2 big day tours in Madeira. So this was the first one. This was of the East Island, where we stopped at about eight or nine different places, and there was also a lavada walk and rum tasted included. This day tour for a full day tour was €50. And then we also did a West Island tour. So I think I preferred this tour out the two. It was €50 as well, just like the East tour. But on this tour, there were a couple of additional things that we could pay extra to do. So here are the things that I did. So first up was this viewpoint. As you could see by how we've cropped this photo, it was completely packed out. It cost €2 to do this. On the East Island tour, there was actually an observation platform like this too. It wasn't as high as this one. This one's over 500 meters. It's the tallest one, but the other one was completely empty. So I preferred the free one on the first tour compared to this one, which is the one where everybody goes, but it's got a €2 entrance fee. And also on this tour, we went to the Porto Muniz natural pools. These had a €3 entrance fee. I thought these pools were a little bit overrated, if I'm being honest. It felt very much just like a swimming pool. You can kind of see by the shape of it. It just felt very man-made rather than natural, and I wish I had done my research a bit better or remembered my research, because just around the corner from here there are some free pools that you can walk to, and they're more like rock pools, but I forgot, and I wish I'd gone to those ones instead of paying the €3 fee for these ones, which are the ones you generally see everywhere. So now stepping away from the day tours, and a reason why the Porto Muniz pools were kind of ruined for me is because we went to these ones first. These ones are probably going to completely forget the name now. It was called Dos Cavacas. I'll write it in the description as to what it was. But these ones here, these are in Funchal, and they cost €5.50 for entrance, and not being on a day tour, you obviously get all day to spend here. You can spend as long as you want there. But these ones are fun. These ones are like rock pools. They're like crabs and stuff. And they had these like steps that were like to climb over the rocks to get into the pool. It just felt a bit more natural, considering they're named natural pools. These ones felt more natural than the Porto Muniz natural pools. So I really enjoyed this. These were €5.50. And then another thing to do in Funchal, if the weather happens to be bad, is that this is the 3D Fun Art Museum. This was €11 for entry, and we actually spent a long time here. They have all these different like murals when you're in them. It makes it look like you're part of the mural too, but they had loads of fun ones, so you kind of have to just be a little bit silly with it. But this is really fun if you have some time to kill. Here are more things to do in Funchal. So this is the cable car that goes from the city centre up to Monte, that's like in the mountains. This is €12.50 to ride the cable car one way. And then once you get to the top, here's 2 of me now, hello. Once you get to the top, this is the Monte Palace Gardens. So just like the cable car, these are €12.50 for entry as well. We spent about 3 hours here, so you do get your money's worth. And where this waterfall is, they have this pineapple stand. This is expensive, but me and my mum split one. It's €15 for this pineapple, and they carve it out and then they blend up the fruit and mix it into a pina colada. So yeah, this is €15 for the pineapple pina colada. It was a treat, but it was worth it. I like this. So yep, this is €15. And then the gardens are on quite a big slope. So we then actually spent €5 each to go back to the top of the hill in one of these little golf cart things. I was with my parents, and by the time we'd finished, they didn't want to walk back up the hill. So €5 each to ride back to the top. And then a popular thing to do is to ride the toboggan down again. So we had 3 of us in one basket, and we paid €45. So it's like €15 each. It is about a 10-minute ride down. So you do it is kind of worth the money. It's expensive, but it is kind of worth the money. And then here is the price list for if you have 2 people in a basket. Again, it's €15 a person. Or if there's one, it is a little bit more expensive. It is €25. But then when you come down, you can't then get the cable car back down. The easiest and the cheapest way is to then get a bus back down to Funchal. It's $1.95 for the local city buses. The taxi people will try their hardest to take you back down in a taxi, but they will overcharge you. So the cheapest way is just to get the bus for $1.95 back down. And continuing on from buses, if you take a bus outside of Funchal, there's a couple of different bus companies, but those ones are a little bit more expensive than the city route ones. So one day we did spend €5 on a return ticket from Funchal to Santa Cruz because we wanted to go plane spotting, because this is the airport runway here, and then next to it it's actually really nice. Santa Cruz is well worth going to. They have like a free swimming pool, and there's like some beach cafes and things like that. This is actually a really fun day trip for only €5. It's actually worth doing, and then you can spot planes as well. If you look on Flight Radar 24, you can see what ones are coming in to land that day, so you can kind of time it with when the most arrivals are going to be. So I was in Madeira for 10 days altogether. So those were like the most expensive things that we did. But there are also other things that you can do. So for example, this is a Lavada walk that's in Funchal. It's free. I was staying in the hotel end, so I just walked to the start of it, and then I walked along it for 30 minutes and then went back via like the coast path, which is quite nice actually. It's quite a nice little route. A free thing that we did was we walked from, again, the hotel end of Funchal all the way to Camara de Lobos, and then we hung out there for a bit and then turned around and walked back. So there are some free things that you can do. There are also free swimming spots as well, and obviously the walks, and there's a street in Funchal. Let me grab the picture. So this is the Painted Doors project, which is a popular thing to do in Funchal. It's free. There's one street in the old town. I guess it expands onto a couple of streets, but there's one main street where nearly every single door has some form of like a mural on it, or like this street art, and that's fun to do. It's free, but then the majority of the businesses along this particular street are things like cafes, bars, restaurants, so obviously they're going to cost you money. But we found that, say, a pint of beer, or just over a pint of beer, was about €4. Same for coffee. Juices were about the same as well. So those, for a drink, it's kind of like an average price compared to, say, some of the other European cities. But yeah, so that's just a little look at some of the things that you can do in Madeira and Funchal. I will be talking about everything in more detail. There'll be blog posts about everything over on my website. I am in the process of writing them, so we'll get there eventually. But if you have any questions about things to do in Madeira or the pricing, let me know and I'll see if I can answer your questions for you.